Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Mark Mistriner, Coordinator of Culinary Arts here at Nassau County Community College, and I'm with Chef John French, who is our chef de cuisine for our student-run dining room on campus. Well, Chef French, we're finally out of the winter doldrums here, and thank goodness I'm very happy about that. I know my kids are finally happy to be outside running around. But today we put together an Easter meal for everyone, and maybe not the traditional Easter meal, something a little bit different, change some things up a little bit. But what we have here is classic shrimp cocktail with our spicy cocktail sauce, a roast loin of pork with a pineapple and mango chutney versus a traditional roasted or baked ham that would have a pineapple glaze on it. We have some nice steamed broccoli and candy jams with some toasted marshmallows on top. And then to finish off your meal, a lemon meringue pie, which this time of year is fantastic, nice and light and creamy. And of course, thank goodness we have a pastry chef on staff, because it's definitely not my forte. But let's go back and let's talk about this shrimp cocktail for a little bit. Chef French, shrimp cocktail you see all the time in different restaurant menus, and I know a lot of people have different ways of cooking it. Right. What's one of your favorite ways to cook that shrimp cocktail?
One of the best that I found is getting a flavorful liquid. You want to make sure that the liquid you poach your shrimp in is very flavorful. You want as much flavor as possible. You might think it's over-seasoned at times because of the flavor that is, but you're just poaching it, okay? So what you do is you bring a flavorful liquid to a boil, you toss your shrimp in, turn off the heat, and let it poach that way. You don't want to overcook shrimp. It tends to get very tough if you overcook it. So very light boil, and then you maybe want to let it in there maybe 3-4 minutes. Okay. And then take it out.
All right. With going with that flavorful liquid for our folks at home, what are some of the things you might be able to put in there?
They have a lot of commercial things that you can use, crab boils and things like that. Or you can use what I've seen in restaurants and things is what's called a pickling spice. Okay. You can throw that in as well. It just aerates, aromatics, make it very flavorful. So
some bay leaf, some black pepper, some lemon.
Right.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. And Chef French is right. Shrimp cooks very quickly and it becomes very tough and rubbery, and they like to curl up. What I like to do once they're poached for 3 or 4 minutes is to take a strainer, strain them, and then lay them out on a tray and let them cool at room temperature for a few minutes before you put them into the refrigerator. Yeah,
because they'll continue cooking.
Exactly. You'll have a little carryover cooking, and if you put something really hot or kind of right from boiling into the refrigerator, obviously it's going to cause some condensation and things like that in your refrigerator. So a nice simple poach, lay them on a tray and let them air cool for a few minutes. Great, I like that idea. And again, that's something everyone you can do ahead of time. Get them done a day ahead of time, put them in the refrigerator. Easter Sunday's busy trying to get everyone off to Mass or whatever you do with your families. If you can get that done a day ahead of time, leave it in the refrigerator and that morning, plate it up, or actually you can probably plate it up even the day before if you really wanted to. Wonderful. So that's a nice, easy tip and trick for our folks at home. Here in the center, again, everyone, I know my family anyways, always has baked ham for Easter. Nothing against you, Aunt Teresa, it's very good. But something a little bit different. We took a pork loin today and roasted that. And again, pork and pork, so you're still serving pork at Easter Sunday, but something a little bit different. Give me some options here, things that we can do with this pork loin.
A pork loin, oven roasting is probably the best method to use. Using a dry heat method. You want it probably about 375, your oven. The reason for that is you want to get a nice golden crust on it. Okay. Depending on the size of your pork loin, it'll vary on how long it's going to be in there. Okay. But a general rule of thumb is if you have a thermometer, I would take it out probably around 155-ish. Okay. Because it will have carryover to cooking. You want it to be at least 165. Exactly. To be properly cooked and safe.
One of the things that chefs also do is instead of putting it into the oven and having it brown in the oven, they'll kind of brown on the stovetop in a Teflon pan or something like that to get a little bit of a crust on it and some Maillard reaction going and some caramelization of the sugars and the protein. And so they'll brown it a little bit, chop up some herbs or some spices, whatever, really, you decide as the cook or the chef that day. Coat it with some herbs and spices, put it in the oven, and Chef French is right. You want that internal temperature to 165 degrees from a food safety standpoint, but also if you cook it to 165 degrees, you take it out of the oven and it sits on the stove top or the counter to rest or cool, because you never want to cut it right out of the oven because your juices will run out. You want it to set for a little bit. What will happen is if you cook it to 165, it will continue to cook anywhere from 8 to 10 degrees.
At least,
for a roast. So if you can take it out 8 or 10 degrees below 165, it will continue to cook for you, so you have a nice moist roast pork loin. And pork is one of those dishes that when it's cooked properly, it's great, it's flavorful, it's moist, and it's juicy. And if it's overcooked, as we all know, it gets pretty dry.
And a couple other tips, like Chef Mark said, was you can sear it in a pan, creating a seal, which seals in the juices as well. Another one that I like to do, and I found it works very well, is creating a brine for it. Okay. Brine would be a salt sugar solution, and you let it go overnight, and then you do the process of cooking your roast, and it lends to a super moist product.
That's a great tip for our viewers at home, and I like to brine our turkey. I do. Thanksgiving is my house, and Easter is Aunt Teresa's house. But this way, again, I always brine my turkey, and it's always so moist. And again, turkey, just like pork, you cook it a little too long, it's going to be dry with you. Basic steamed broccoli, all right?
Steamed broccoli. Trick to that is, obviously, you want to set that color, get that nice, beautiful green, and then take it out as quickly as possible. A lot of people tend to overcook it, and it gets that army green.
Army green color. Yeah. One tip, and we try and teach the students all the time, is the pot should have ample amounts of water in it. And Chef Thomas Keller, famous American chef, teaches. It's called big pot blanching. And you want more than enough water, and at a rolling boil, salted of course.
Salted, yes.
When you put your green vegetable in, it continues to boil. A lot of times, we have a small pot, as soon as we put our green vegetable in, it stops boiling, and what happens is you lose the chlorophyll out of it, and you lose the color, and it ends up in the pot. So big pot boiling, it stays to that rolling boil, and what's nice is you'll end up with a nice green color. Comes out, a little butter, salt and pepper, and right into the serving dish. So fantastic. Candy jams, I mean, the classic there.
Right.
Any tips for that?
When I tend to do these, I like to make what is called a compound butter,
okay.
Which is you get softened butter, then you add your brown sugar, your cinnamon, your nutmeg, your clove, whatever you want, and you mix it in with the butter, and then you slather it on your yam pieces, and then you bake it off that way. And it creates a nice caramelization, nice sugary, buttery yams.
Fantastic, wonderful, and then little marshmallows there, and get them toasted up at the end. And just be careful, everyone at home. The liquid or the glaze or the syrup, the butter that Chef French is talking about, gets very, very hot. So when you take those out of the oven, you want to spill that on you, because it'll give you a pretty bad burn. Especially the sugar is one of the worst burns we can get in the kitchen. And we talk to the students all the time about, especially those pastry students when they're cooking sugar for decoration. Looks like a great meal. I love it. Good color on the broccoli.
Very nice.
Anyways, just picking on you there. Our lemon meringue pie. Well, we are not pastry chefs, and we really don't pretend to be pastry chefs. And we have a wonderful pastry instructor here, Maria Iacoviti, who's our coordinator of our baking and pastry program here. Lemon meringue pie. Here she did it with a little of a graham cracker crust.
Yes.
With her lemon curd on top, her meringue, egg whites, a little cream of tartar, whipped up, spread on top, and then really, really hot oven to brown the top surface of that. Some chefs like it a little browner, some don't. She put a nice decoration with the pastry bag on top. Some people just dollop it on top and kind of have a rough peak or a soft peak on top and brown it that way. The nice thing is she paired it with some fresh fruit, berries there, some raspberry, some blackberry, which gives a nice contrast to the tart and sweet lemon and the sweet berries there. But really, I don't think there's a Easter that we don't have lemon meringue pie.
It's a great way to end.
And sure. In our family, my father-in-law makes a great lemon meringue pie. So my father-in-law Frank, I'll throw a little shout out to you there. But again, something a little bit non-traditional for a meal today, everyone at home. And the thing to remember is it's a holiday. It should be enjoyed with family and friends, stress-free as possible. I know when you're cooking for a bunch of people, it gets a little bit tough and the stress comes up, trying to get things done a little bit ahead of time. The shrimp cocktail could be done ahead of time. Your broccoli could be cut up ahead of time. You can brine the pork, as Chef French had mentioned. Okay, your yams can be in a pan, ready to go in the oven. And again, that lemon meringue pie could be baked ahead of time without the meringue. Put the meringue on the day of, brown it in the morning. Fantastic, it's ready to go. So from Chef John French and myself, to all of you at home, have a great, happy, and safe Easter.
Happy holidays.
We'll see you again.
My favorite thing about NCCC is my advisor and how friendly everyone is. It's very easy to get involved at NCCC. I'm in the dance company here called Tonson, and I also work in the student life office. NCCC has helped me with my future goals and everything outside of here because I've gotten the opportunity to dance in other companies. I would recommend NCCC because it's a great place to start.
If you're an NCCC alumni, annual fitness memberships at NCCC are available for $25 per year. This annual membership includes access to the pool, gym, fitness center with free weights, weight machines, treadmills, and other fitness machines, racquetball courts, free classes such as water aerobics and yoga, participation in intramural activities, outdoor tennis, and basketball courts. For more information, contact the NCCC Alumni Office. Get fit, get balanced, get healthy.
Hi there, I'm John Strong. I'm here with another Thunderwolves Wellness Minute, or moment. We're going to expand it a little bit because today we're going to work out. I brought my guest, Brendan Burns, and he's all set to show you this great workout. We're going to begin, Brendan, with a lunge, so let's get to it. First moment is the lunge we already went through. We're going to get 5 repetitions. Go ahead. We're going right foot and we're alternating to the left, to the right, to the left, and last one. Wonderful. Right from here, we're gonna switch large muscle groups and hit the chest and shoulders. We're gonna do a push-up. We've already gone over the correct form of the push-up. We're doing 1, we're doing 2, we're doing 3, and now I'm gonna turn it up a level for you, sir. And I'm gonna ask you to switch from this elevated push-up, which is more of a decline motion. I'm gonna switch your head and your feet, and I'm gonna do more of an incline motion, which is actually a lot more challenging. Go ahead, give me 5 more of those. 5, 4, 3, 2, and he's got a nice even pace going, right? He's not hurrying, but he's not going so slow that it's gonna be a problem for him. We're gonna go right over there to the bands. We're gonna pick up the green band. Whatever band that you buy, if you choose to purchase a band, try and find variable weights or test strengths of the band because you're gonna improve, all right? We're gonna start with bicep curls. You notice he gets all the way to the bottom. He gets a nice extension here. He doesn't hyperextend the elbow, but he gets a full extension at the bottom. And let's get 3, and let's get 4. He's not cheating up. There's no motion in his hips or a throwing of his back out. And right when he gets to the top of this one, here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna pull up, he's gonna turn out, and now what he's gonna do is a shoulder press. This is a great motion. It's gonna attack your shoulders. You're gonna get a little bit of tricep here. We're gonna extend right all the way up. He's not crossing his hands. He's pushing right up to the full extension of his shoulder and then right back down to a 90-degree angle. He's not coming too far in front of his head, nor too far behind it, so he doesn't mess with the rotator cuff at all. Okay, and we can go ahead and cut that off. That's a really nice motion, Bren. We're gonna come back now. We went legs first to the chest, shoulders, and tris. We came over here to the buys, shoulders, and tris. Let's get back into the legs. Let's do a step up. We're gonna step right up, and we already talked about how we wanna lead with that toe. We never want that knee to come by, so we're gonna go up. Good, and remember it's just a light step down, it's a touch, and we're right up so that we maintain the tension in that quad. That's a really nice motion, thank you, sir. We're gonna go from here over to the chair. All you guys at home, you all got chairs. I've been to your houses, I've seen your chairs. We're gonna try this movement, and we're gonna work the the shoulder as, or excuse me, the tricep as we go down, and there's a little bit of an extension, stretch in the pectoralis major. I'm gonna actually make it harder for my guest today. I'm gonna take this physio ball out. Some people call it a Swiss ball, some people call it an exercise ball. If I hold it, it's a little bit easier for them. And if I let it go, now I'm challenging that core. Remember, we talked about the core is not just your abs. It's this structure, these synergist muscle groups all throughout your body that allow you to stabilize. And that's what he's doing right now on this ball. He's stabilized. Let's go ahead and give this one a rest. Wonderful job, wonderful job. We're gonna stick with the ball, and we're gonna do a crunch. He's gonna have a seat on the ball here. He gets a nice wide shoulder width apart foot motion. You don't want to shrink those down. You'll be way off balance. You want to get yourself set. And again, he's going to keep his chin high. He's going to look up at the ceiling. He's going to crunch up. Go ahead and crunch up, sir. Remember what we talked about. There's no rest at the bottom. There's no rest at the top. The whole time, those abs are engaged. And because we've got the ball here, we're engaging all the different core structures. When we take a weight, we're using a medicine ball at home. If you don't want to go out and buy a medicine ball, I understand, times are tough economically. What you can do is add any weighted object, anything from cans of soup to sacks of potatoes, literally anything you can find that has some weight to it. So again, we're going to hold that weight right in the exact same direct relationship to the head and shoulders. The weight doesn't swing, it just maintains its relationship with the head and shoulders above the torso as we extend up and release back down. Okay, I'll take that from you. We're gonna swing back around, and this time Brendan's gonna put his hips into the ball. I'm gonna anchor his heels here, and what I wanna make sure we do is come up as high as you can, Bren, high as you can, high as you can, high as you can, and that's your first point, okay? As we come back down, we don't wanna rest on the ball, but we wanna extend the back and stretch it. And we're straight up, extend up, good, and squeeze that back musculature, wonderful, wonderful, and stay right there. And I'm gonna bring you a ball, and we're gonna challenge you today, my friend. Aren't you glad you're our guest? Go ahead and extend on up. There you go, nice work, as high as you can go, my friend. Up, yeah, good, good, good. And let's do one more. Up, good, very nice motion. Go ahead, put the ball down. Great, 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 great. Good stuff. How do you feel?
Good.
Good. Consider, Brendan did these different exercises. He did each exercise once. What I would love for you to think about doing is each of these exercises in succession twice. And then once you pull that off, 3 times. Do the full circuit 3 times. No break. Is that a lot of cardio? Sure. Is that a lot of strength building? Sure. The strength building comes from the repetition range, what's called the rep range. Now, you saw Brendan do 5 of each of those. I don't want you to do 5. We were just demonstrating. What I want you to do is consider a rep range somewhere around 12 to 15 if you're thinking about muscular endurance, all right? You're gonna shorten that up a little bit, thinking about getting a little bigger, and shorten it up even further if you're thinking about getting stronger. This can and will help you if you execute it correctly and you put your best into it to get the most out of it. Thanks so much for coming by. And thank you for coming by. Another Thunder Wolves Wellness Moment. Hope we see you again soon.
If you'd like more information about NCCC, just give us a call, visit our website, or stop on by our campus.